There we go. We got Mr. Glen with us again this morning. Good morning, Glen.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning from Japan. Good morning from Yokohama, actually.
Man, so Glen, what coffee are we brewing today?
Wonderful. And good thing you asked. Today, we're going to be brewing a coffee from Africa, from Ethiopia, actually. This is one of the interesting coffee, actually. And, thank you for giving me the opportunity to present to you and introducing coffee to your audience and to your followers. But, if there's one thing Americans love, it's coffee.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And what I have discovered is there were about 400 million cups of coffee that are being consumed each day across America alone, across United States.
Wow.
It's like, wow, was 400 million. That's 400 million cups. That's a lot of coffee, bro. And
yeah, that is
the coffee that coming from Brazil, Mexico, since you are close to the border, and also coffee from Indonesia.
Right, yeah.
Coming from Ethiopia. This is what we're called. I'm going to be introducing the Ethiopia Yirga Cheffe. Yirga Cheffe. It's one of the most popular types of coffee in the world, and it's actually also in Ethiopia. And it has a light-bodied flavor and delicious aromas, and it's make it more perfect beverage as your choice. Let me also tell you that it is not just about coffee. It's about your coffee.
It is, yes.
Yeah. So
hi, Paul. I'm sorry if I seem a little distant. I'm still trying to make sure everything's running right. But I think we're good.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you a little history about the Ethiopian Yirga Cheffe coffee.
Okay.
It is actually the climate is so ideal with this kind of beans. The kind of beans that they usually have in Ethiopia as the native, or as they call their natural grown beans are typica and oh man, I forgot. I'm sorry. It's
no worries.
More of a Arabica Ethiopia.
Okay.
They are basically harvested during the month of October to December. So it's actually one of the most popular coffee in Ethiopia. And today we're going to be brewing the Ethiopian Yirga Cheffe or Yirga Cheffe. That basically it has one of the highest respect in coffee world, and because of its distinctive taste, unique and splendid and excellent flavor.
Right. So Glen, now when we first met, you were getting the Yirga Cheffe G3. This is the G1. Can you tell me what the difference is in those two?
Very good. Okay. In Ethiopia, there are three central regions actually that the origin of coffee and that is produced. It's called the Sidamo or Shidamo, Sidamo or SH, Sidamo or Shidamo. There is also the Yirga Cheffe or Yirga Cheffe, and there's also what they call the Harar or Harar. Each one of these regions they produce coffee with its own distinctive flavor profile. Now, when it comes to G1, G2, G3, meaning to say Yirga Cheffe G1, G2, G3, it means that there's a grade of grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. And the highest of it is grade 1.
Okay.
Yeah. And Yirga Cheffe coffee, basically, they have a kind of a sweet and fruity flavor and aroma with light and medium body. And they are actually incredibly fragrant. I'm sure that you have tried some of my Yirga Cheffe in the past.
Absolutely.
And also reviewed as one of the highest quality of Arabica beans in the world. So,
oh, wow.
Meaning to say, since they are premium grade coffees, they are often more expensive.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. For a wholesale, wow. Is it okay to mention the price?
Yeah, that's no problem.
Well, if you buy the raw beans from wholesale, and it would cost you like about $100 per kilo, or per 5 kilograms.
Okay.
So if you are going to buy a roasted, it automatically been multiplied by 4.
Oh, yeah. So you're looking at like almost $500 for five, or it's so yeah, so about $100 a kilo roasted.
And that's how expensive it is. Again,
wow.
Yirga Cheffe is one of the famous in Ethiopia because it has the highest quality compared to Sidamo and Harar. The Sidamo has this rich mouth feels and full bodies. They are quite the sweet, complex flavor profiles. They often have a very low acidity of if the beans is coming from Sidamo. But it has a very vibrant taste and aftertaste actually because of their flavor consistency, and are actually most of the coffee roasters are actually prefers this ones because easy to introduce.
Oh, okay. Now the Yirga Cheffe is this a top specialty, a specialty? What is the grade of this coffee?
Yeah, so according to the international standards or ranking, as they call it, the coffee pyramid rankings, it is on the top specialty.
Oh, okay.
Let me give you briefly how do they come up with that? Actually, it's like a pyramid. From the bottom, it's called the commercial coffee, meaning the ordinary, and then the next one would be the premium type of coffee beans, and then the next one would be the specialty, and then the top specialty would be the second, and then the top of top as universally known.
Right.
Meaning to say, there are like top of top coffee beans that would cost you like about $300 per kilogram.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot for some coffee, but man.
Yeah.
So this is like, I mean, so this is next to the top, basically. This coffee is. It's a top specialty.
Second one in the world.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And again, it's not just coffee. It's your coffee.
Right. Great. All right. So are we ready to brew some of this?
Oh yeah, sure. So I have actually about 85 degrees. I'm talking about centigrade. I'm sorry, I can't tell you about what's that in Fahrenheit.
I can't either, bro.
I'm a little bit lost about that. The temperature of my hot water is about 85, and now it's ready. And so I'm going to be brewing about 34 grams of granules of coffee.
Okay. Just
now,
1 second, 1 minute, Glenn. I do have a question. Mr. Justin wants to know how much coffee can be brewed from a kilo. And we were just discussing this. A cup is about 250 mLs, and we're using, with this specific coffee, we're using about 16 grams per cup. And so a kilo is 1,000 grams. So if you can do that math, that's quite a few cups of coffee from a kilo.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Well, if you roast about 1 kilograms of raw beans, you will not actually or exactly get 1 kilograms of roasted beans. Now, depending what kind and type of beans and type of roasting you are doing, let's just give you a brief background on this one. In my experience, there are coffees that I roast from 1 kilo, and I ended up having only 700 grams or 800 grams, the more decent. So meaning to say, you already lost 200 grams. That is why.
Right.
That is why roasted coffee costs you a little now.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, because you usually buy 5 kilos and you get about 4 kilos roasted, right?
About 4.5 to max to the 4.8 to 4.
Oh, okay. So you get quite a bit more than just Okay.
Right. And generally, 1 cup of coffee in shops, they basically give you 10 grams of coffee. 10 grams of that.
Okay,
like
so 10 grams to a cup ish. So if you're looking at 1 kilo of coffee, 10 grams per cup, that's about 100 cups of coffee for 1 kilo.
Exactly.
So that, I mean, so say you pay $100 for a kilo of roasted coffee, you're paying $1 a cup, basically.
Right.
Nice.
Right.
Which is a heck of a lot less than you pay at Starbucks.
and another thing is that you are not getting an ordinary coffee. I mean,
true.
It's your coffee.
True. True. All right. Well, let's get to brewing, bro. Because I'm anxious to brew mine. I think my water's ready. I'm gonna put you up on the big screen and let you take it from here.
All right. Wow, wonderful. All right, guys. I'm gonna be using. I have 2 different kinds of mesh or filter or metal filter that I actually use. So this one is the bronze, or they call it a copper or gold mesh as they call it. And this one is made of stainless mesh. So which one do I prefer? I prefer, as a matter of fact, you can also use the ceramic or kind of but with the paper. But I prefer to use the gold mesh. Reason is, gold mesh, it kind of helps your coffee in that type of engagement. As soon as the hot water reaches the coffee granules, the engagement basically is longer and lasting. So that means you can get a full flavor of your coffee. That it makes sure that every tiny little piece of that granules actually opens up and starts breathing. So there is also some advantage of using the stainless, but the problem is it's not actually a problem, but some they don't prefer this because it gets cold real fast. So the engagement is shorter. So you may have to have a little hotter um, uh, hot water than the 85. Probably can serve 90. But the problem of that is you can make your coffee a little bitter than the usual, because the more hotter water you pour in your coffee, the more it gets bitter. So it has to have a little balance on it. Okay, so let me just go ahead and help you now with the coffee. Well, first, what I usually do, I warm my my filter with hot water and my decanter. I do it this way. Okay. Make sure that everything is warm. Okay, so when that engagement appears, it will be a lot easier the coffee to open up. So this cup here that I use, I like this type of measurement because one full of this measuring thing is would give you about 12 grams of coffee. That's enough for a cup of coffee. But what I do is, since I have a very strong, I prefer my coffee strong. I do 15 to 16 grams of coffee. So a little over than the natural or the extra. I mean, sorry, it's like this is about 16 now. Okay, so I'm brewing like about 34 grams of coffee. There we go. Perfect. And now what you do, as soon as you put your coffee in your filter, make sure to make like a crater type. Okay? Not too deep, not too wide, just enough. And then you can start pouring in your hot water slowly and with a circular motion. Okay? There you go. Wow. Wow. So when you see your coffee coming up, like with all the type of bubbles and everything, that means the way you're brewing it is right. And that's how it should look like. So imagine this. This is what you call the engagement of the hot water to the beans. So it drops the water very slowly, and that gives the coffee time to expand, time to breathe. So you have to wait like about 30 seconds. And then after 30 seconds, you can continue again the way how you pour in your hot water. Oh, the aroma is so splendid. Amazing. And that's about 30 seconds now. So you can continue the circular motion of brewing your coffee this way. Hand pour basically gives you a lot of control on your coffee. And hand pour, again, as I have mentioned in the past, gives you a more flavorful and excellent coffee. It's one of the best way of preparing your coffee. It will approximately last about 4 to 5 minutes before you can have a good cup of coffee prepared preparing your hand pour. And maybe some of you will ask, what type of milling or grinding? It's if you go to a shop, you can just tell them what kind of brewing that you're going to use. Is it going to be machine brewed? Is it going to be hand pour? And if you let them know, they will help you out with your how your coffee will be grinded or your ground coffee. There you go. Wow. Wow. Whew, I can't wait that cup of coffee of mine, man. And so while I'm waiting for the last drop, I also make my cup warm from a hot water. Yeah. Make sure that you make your cup warm too before you pour in your your brewed coffee. Wow. And so for the last part, just have slowly mix and make a circular motion. Make sure that every space will be occupied by water, and do not let your coffee, do not let the very last drop of your water into your filter to fill it up, because sometimes it may produce a more bitter taste. So now,
Yo, James, thanks for those, buddy.
Cup. And we'll see. Wow, the floral aroma of coffee is so inviting. It's so perfect, and you can actually feel the smoothness of it. You can actually imagine that once it touches your palate, you would probably ask yourself, is this really coffee?
Right. This okay. Coffee has such a different aroma. It's floral, but yet almost like a sugary sweet smell, almost like vanilla, caramel, something like that.
Oh, very good, Jim. That is what you call the molasses type.
Molasses. Yes. There you go. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Man, I told you guys. I mean, I trust this guy. I mean, his palate it always challenged me. I mean, sometimes I get jealous. Why do you have that kind of palate? Why not me? Oh, man. Oh.
And that's
all right.
It is, you know. Wow, this is I'm sorry. This is so interesting. I mean, you will really be so surprised of, wow, that is why it's called specialty coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really amazing. It's not just a cup of coffee. It's your coffee.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I know that most American loves car, and there are people who prefers to ride their 67 Mustang, 72 Mustang, or the Mac one, I mean, you're gonna be able to ride your car with class, and the same thing with coffee. You want your coffee with class.
Exactly. I like it. I like it.
It's your coffee, bro. Oh, golly, this is so splendid. Beautiful, beautiful. It's so clear. What do you say, Jim?
Yeah. It's really hot right now. I burned the tip of my tongue already, so I'm trying to let it cool a little bit. I know you like to dive right in, man. I just can't do it.
Yep, but the flavor that it's so bright and it's so clear. I think it's more of a complex and more of an elegant type of an aftertaste that you will not get rid of that bittery tasting. But the longer the bittery taste stays in your palate, the more it gives you the flavor of being clear and bright because of its sweetness and because of its fruity flavor that lasts in your palate.
Man, this just the aroma on this it's just so pleasant. It's funny.
It is.
Unless I sit down with you with a cup of coffee, I don't usually sit down and just like pick out the stuff. I mean, there have been times like with the Guatemala when I've been out on the porch, just, having a cup of coffee, having a cigar, and like I've said 1,000 times, the Guatemala has that apricot that just hits me so hard, and I love it. But most of the time I'll brew my coffee in the morning and I'm engaging with people in the chat and I'm just drinking the coffee, and I don't really take the time to savor it. Wow.
Yeah. That's true. Like again, every coffee has its own unique flavor, aroma.
Oh man.
And it especially when your palate kind of get used to it. I mean, to tell the truth, it's so hard to go back to the ordinary.
It really is.
Yeah, I mean, hey, come on, guys. If you need to pamper yourself, especially guys, we need to understand how to pamper ourselves in a good coffee.
Absolutely. Let the women have the spas and the pedicures and manicures. We men, we can enjoy a nice cup of specialty, top specialty, even top of top specialty coffee. Come on.
Oh yeah. The fruity flavor. Can you?
Yeah.
How about your coffee, Jim? I mean,
definitely. I'm definitely tasting the grape notes in this.
But what did you say?
Grape.
What did you say?
Grape. I'm definitely tasting that. Not as much because I know the cupping notes say it's got a bright citric taste. That's not hitting me right now. I imagine as the coffee cools, the acidity and the citric will actually probably take over. But definitely getting floral and grape. Very smooth. And not a lot on the back end of the palate, which as opposed to, I think last week that was really heavy flavor. When it was hot, there was a lot of heavy flavor on the back end of the palate. And then as it cooled, it was more to the front with the acidity. This is like the back end of the palate is just more of the sweetness, more of your typical coffee flavor. But the front and middle end is where I'm getting that the floral and the grape.
Yeah, good. You hit it right, bro. See the grape flavor. It's the gorgeous and fruity flavor. It's like the gorgeous and fruity flavor of grapes that you can actually feel and you can actually see and taste. And imagine, if some of you want your coffee a little lime or you see, I kind of describe this coffee. It's more of a winey flavor, like rosé. Not the red.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Tastes like wine. There are coffee that tastes like white wine, but this one is more specifically more of a rosé.
And as it's cooling, it's definitely getting more citric.
Yeah,
but it's still
and,
so as it cools, the grape and the floral are now hitting the back of the palate stronger, and the citric is kind of taking over the mid range. It hits the citric hits the sides of your tongue.
Yeah, the way you describe it, it to me it's kind of an elegant.
Yeah,
this coffee is so interesting because it helps actually the molasses type acidity, the molasses type acidity and sweetness, a kind of not fighting together, that blends so perfect.
No, they're pairing very well. Very well. So the acidity's not
right.
It's not something that just hits you in the face and makes you it's not like biting into a lemon.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is
Well,
very much like drinking a rosé. I definitely can see that.
Exactly, yeah. And it's see the glossy flavor of this coffee. The glossy flavor of this coffee, it lasts after it lasts on your palate, the aftertaste. Yeah. Throughout, it has some, for me, it has some very sloppy impression. And, it has a sweet and very comfortable, natural coffee flavor for me. I mean, hey, I know that there are a lot better coffees like out there. Still a lot to introduce. Actually, I have coffee from Nicaragua. Also is splendid. I have coffee from, just like what you mentioned a moment ago, the Guatemala, the Honduras. Oh man, they're all amazing. But you know what? It's one of my favorite is the Yirga Cheffe.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is it's a solid coffee.
Yep, that's true. And this is so sweet and very comfortable. So it's not hard to introduce even to the people who are kind of first in drinking coffee or taking their coffee. I tell the truth, before I married my wife, she never had coffee in her life. But when she married me, she started drinking coffee. And she's even taking her coffee black.
Yeah. I mean, Danica liked she likes her coffee sweet.
Does she
almost she'd rather have hot chocolate, but yeah, I mean, the Mocha Sadama was probably the best one for her because she says the way she describes it is it tastes like kind of like a bitter hot chocolate.
Right.
So and then of course everything else she drinks, she just says tastes like coffee.
Yeah, that's
babe, what do you think? What do you think about this? Tastes like coffee. I'm like, oh God, woman, refine your palate. I hope she doesn't come. I hope she doesn't watch this.
Tastes like your coffee.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh man, this is so excellent. Oh wow, wonderful. I mean, I look forward to have a time with you, sitting here and introducing the coffee together with your people out there. It's how I wish. It's like the boys will go out for a drink. What kind of drink? I mean, coffee.
Coffee. Man, what's interesting though, Glenn, this one compared to the last two that we've sampled, as it's cooling, it doesn't seem to change much in flavor.
A very good observation, Jim. As a matter of fact, back in Ethiopia, it is customary that since it has a very strong flavor, They use it like an incense in their house.
Interesting.
Secondly, the when it gets cold, some people in Ethiopia and some people actually who drinks this Yirga, especially coming from Yirga Cheffe, they prefer to have it cold. So what others do is that they have this in a cold brew, slow cold brew coffee.
Interesting.
And it's so perfect. But let me advise you, when you are trying, if you are going to acquire yourself a Yirga Cheffe coffee, just let us know. See how we can hook you up, and I can provide you what I roasted and what I do, what I
Absolutely.
did actually. And again, if you drink this cold, do not put any sugar or any cream or milk on it. You know why? Because you will drown the coffee. Well, I accept. I mean, some of you probably prefers to have your coffee a little with a taste of sweetness. See, if the coffee notes has a tasting notes of a molasses or sugary or syrupy, it is so difficult to suggest to put sugar on your coffee.
Right.
Otherwise, you're hiding the coffee, the real flavor of your coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, yeah, if you want a coffee for cream and sugar, then you're gonna want the Nicaragua, I would even say the Star Maya, not too much sugar and cream, but a little bit actually will go well with that. But definitely not this coffee. Yeah. Well, there are some coffee from Brazil that's which is famous of producing. Brazil is so famous in producing a yellow bourbon type of beans of Arabica. Interesting.
They are also good as an option. It's so easy to introduce to mix with cream or sugar. Another thing, I would probably, if you still want your coffee with cream or sugar, don't use milk on your coffee because it will actually kill the coffee away. But instead, you can either use powder cream or not liquid cream, powder cream, or you can say Nestle or.
Bro, I always use heavy whipping cream in my coffee if I use cream.
Well, for those who wanted to introduce themselves little by little in coffee, I mean, it can be learned. No problem.
Absolutely, yeah.
To those who are struggling to take their coffee in black, I mean, you can pamper yourself a little bit, and then later on it will grow. You will grow eventually.
You're
like a child growing up.
Yeah, I mean, I used to take my coffee with sugar and cream, and then I switched to honey to just kind of something a little healthier than white sugar. And my wife and I went on a diet where we weren't allowed to have any kind of sweeteners. And after that, it was like I couldn't handle stuff that was too sweet, and I completely stopped putting any sweetener in my coffee, and I would just use cream for the longest time. And then I met you, and you introduced me to the world of specialty coffees, and
there you go.
I think at first I used cream in it a little bit, and then I just started taking it black, and it's so much better. It just really is. You really get the full flavor of the specialty coffee when you don't add stuff to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't need it.
Exactly. Yes. That's perfect. Actually,
I mean, if you go to Starbucks, you definitely need cream and sugar because that commercial sludge it has no flavor.
Well, if some of you would probably sit on a typical or a popular coffee shop and sit there, enjoy your black coffee, and try to find that flavor, try to find that notes, I'm sorry, but you cannot.
No, absolutely not.
Unless you are taking or unless you're drinking a specialty type of beans.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, what a day to start with this wonderful coffee today,
Oh,
Jim.
man.
I mean, oh my goodness. Beautiful.
I almost just want to shut down everything and go outside. It's beautiful. It's going to be 70 degrees today. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Are you roasting today, Glenn? Are you roasting?
I'm actually planning now.
Nice. What are you roasting?
Fine weather, yes, beautiful weather out there. I mean, not cold, not hot. Woo,
No,
perfect for
it's
roasting.
wonderful. I have all the windows open.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Oh man.
oh yeah. I'm good. Oh, by the way, I may have to, of course, in the next coming weeks, maybe I would also like to introduce another kind of Yirga Chef G1. What I introduced to you is Bantola. So coming from the farm of Bantola, Yirga Chef G1, meaning to say grade 1, is on the highest grade. And I also had a mulubede. Mulubede, it's another kind of a Yirga Chef G1.
Okay.
That also has a very interesting note. I can't wait to try it myself, but my packaging is still closed, so I still have to enjoy my Bantola for a moment.
Yeah.
You know. Yep. And if your listeners and your followers and subscribers wish to, if you have any requests, like what kind of, like coffee from Colombia, coffee from Brazil, coffee from Guatemala, or wherever, I mean, you can actually ask Jim, and so we can help you provide that if we have the stocks.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And next week we're gonna do the Star Maya, right?
Oh yeah.
Since we tried to do that today and found out I didn't have any. I swear I had a bag of that, but I don't know. I must have just drank it all up because it's so good.
You know, I forgot to ask you. I was about to ask you yesterday when you were here, and I was gonna ask you and have you bring one bag and just to make sure.
No, I was positive that I had a bag of Star Maya in my arsenal, but
yeah.
I don't. I was very disappointed when I came home. But I mean, that, you know, the Ethiopia, bro. I mean, this knocks it out of the park. It's still, again, I mean, as it's cooling, it's still a very consistent flavor. It's not changing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. It doesn't actually change when you drink your coffee hot, especially with this kind of coffee. When it gets cold, still have the wonderful cup of coffee that you can still enjoy.
Well, like, the last couple
coffee actually.
The last couple we've had, as they cooled, the flavors hit different parts of the palates. Like the citric became stronger. The acidity became a little stronger. Yes. Where this is just just everything's just consistent as it cools. Yeah.
Well, typically, some coffee actually when they cool down, it brings more of the acidity flavor, strong. But because of this perfect balance and well-balanced molasses type sweetness and grape and fruity and sweetness, when it gets cold, the acidity is still there, but it's just so smooth in your palate. And
yeah,
man,
absolutely.
I mean, people would probably think, really, when I first tried this, in my very first time to try this, I thought I wasn't drinking coffee. I thought I was drinking wine.
Yeah.
Really. And, that time I wasn't even introduced to kind of a specialty coffee. I mean, like, what is this? Is this really coffee? And it's so hard to believe. Is it? Probably this is black wine.
I drink my wine black, just like my coffee. But
actually true. Back in the old days, in Ethiopia, they call it the black wine.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's where all started. That's where all the coffee has been birthed from. The shop called Kaldi.
I don't know if
Kaldi is
I don't know if we
actually
have Kaldi in the States. Does anyone in the chat know if we have Kaldi in the US? I don't recall ever seeing that until I moved to Japan.
well, in Japan,
Nobody
you
knows.
it's it's quite famous. Kaldi coffee shop.
Yeah.
What they do is they sell coffee beans from different parts of the world too. But
Right.
they have a very limited specialty coffee. Not most of their coffee are on the premium or the commercial. But Kaldi is actually a farmer in the year 850, and what he discovered actually is that when he was his goats that he's a farmer. And when he saw that his goats and some of his flocks are eating the coffee beans, and it invigorates them, it gives them some vigorous, makes them so looking healthy and active. What he did is he started feeding them with coffee beans.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so now that Kaldi became so famous and start roasting the beans himself. That what his animals are experiencing, he wanted to experience it himself. So he start roasting it, and the old style, Ethiopian style. They put it on the charcoal and the flatbed iron. Start roasting the coffee, and voila, coffee starts in Ethiopia.
Wow, that's interesting. Now, Glenn, I wonder, do they have goat coffee like they do the Servette? Oh God!
Remind me of that beaver thing.
I think. Oh God. I think they'd have a hard time distinguishing the coffee beans from the goat droppings if they tried to do that.
I would prefer the sheep. I would prefer the sheep than the goat.
Oh, so there are some Kaldi shops in the U.S. Just a few.
Wow. Okay. So I would. You can also find some good beans in Kaldi. But I would say that they don't. I'm not sure if they do. Back here in Japan, they only have like about 2 to 3 kinds of specialty coffee beans, and that's all I can see. And
Right.
But most of it, they sell only the commercial and the premium.
Yeah.
Again, but if you wish to order specialty coffee, I mean, for sure, we're gonna give you the best. We're gonna give you the best preferred coffee that you wish to have, and
Absolutely.
My brother Jim here, we can hook you up and see what we can do and help you to reach out to you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Awesome.
in the background, you can see all the bags.
I do see all the bags.
Those are the coffee that we those are actually orders from me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they will be ready to ship for today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's see.
Sending it in Manila.
Okay, so we still don't have the new El Salvador ready, do we? You got the new Costa Rica that we tried, but the El Salvador, the new El Salvador is it ready?
Oh yeah.
Because I did have a request for that. So I'm gonna have to get some of that from you.
The Costa Rica Balsovara and El Salvador Loma La Gloria.
See, the Loma La Gloria is the one that. Do you have a different one from the same farm? Is that what it is? Hold on.
Yes, Loma La Gloria, but this one, yeah.
Hold on 1 second.
The previous one is the natural. This one that I have right now is white honey.
Oh, it's the Pacamara.
Oh, the Pacamara, yeah. The Pacamara white honey, yeah.
Yeah, red honey.
The Pacamara is a kind of a variety of Arabica beans.
But do we have that in
and
stock?
The process is honey process.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Do you have that roasted and ready? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick some of that up because I did have a request for some of that. So.
Right. And
cool.
I roasted light and medium actually. So it's available both in light and in medium.
Right. Okay. What was the? We had the medium last time, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The medium
roast.
Right.
Call it
the city.
Full city roast.
Full city roast. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, and guys, I do have a full list of coffees up in the Discord channel if you guys want to see what's available, and just hit me up, and I will procure it for you and get it shipped out. All right. Anything else, Glenn?
And if your followers wish to ask some questions, and we'll try our best to provide them the answers.
Absolutely.
And, maybe some advices of how they can brew their coffee real good, and maybe we can have that, how you can mill it, or what kind of mill, or what kind of things about coffee. I mean, the best way we can provide you the answers is we'll be here to help you out. But then again, no matter how good, how best the beans you have, unless it's being roasted, you're not gonna have a good cup of coffee.
True.
So it depends on the roasting process. I don't count myself as one of the professionals actually, but it's just been my hobby, and I put a lot of time and passion into it. So there has been a lot of beans that I wasted in learning. It's a constant time. It's a constant. I've been learning every single day on my coffee. Yeah.
Well, I'd say you're pretty good at it, man, because everything that we get from you is just excellent.
Thank you, and I thank you for for allowing yourself to be one of my good friend, actually, my dear brother. I mean, your palate is so interesting. I hate you. Your palate is better than mine.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that.
Interesting, really.
All right, brother. Well, man, thanks so much for being with us again. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, you know why? Probably the reason why you have a very interesting palate is because you love Scotch, you love whiskey, you love, you love all those kinds, and you see those palates, it's just like coffee.
It's true, man. I mean, anything that gives me a really good tasting experience, I'm definitely into it. That's probably why I'm so fat, because I just,
brandy and cognac.
Yeah. I mean, if I like it, I put it in my mouth and gain weight. Oh man.
For the cigar.
Right, the cigar. I mean, that's one thing, I can still enjoy coffee without having to worry about getting fatter. So, I may be giving up a lot of like carbs and other foods, but I'm not giving up the coffee.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, some of you will probably ask, I'm acidic. I have too much acid in my body. I have and such, It's true that the natural coffee will give you that acidity in your body, but imagine this for a moment, that before you start drinking a natural coffee, before you start drinking a specialty kind of coffee, we have already put so much garbage in our body. And so that acidity that you're experiencing cannot be blamed on your coffee that you take. I would say that most of that kind of acidity comes from the kind of food that you eat. Actually, also, if you are drinking instant coffee, and that is not actually healthy.
No. It's not even good.
The acidity that comes out from the natural coffee. Imagine this: as I buy the I buy the raw beans and I roast it, and then I don't have any extra flavor on it. And most of the natural coffee does not have. They don't even use a. They only use organic fertilizer, no chemicals actually. Especially the Yirga Cheffe. It's all natural. And so the acidity that comes out from your coffee is so natural. That means it helps you out. Is that amazing? That it's the creator himself that provided the natural acidity that comes into your body from the coffee, from the natural coffee that you put in your that you intake, and so that means it helps you out to it gives you a little gas, or I mean more gas. It burns you a lot. That means all those impurities in your body are being thrown away, out.
Yeah, it helps you process them, I guess. Yeah.
Yep. And that is actually healthy. So I would say that avoid drinking instant coffee, please, or the 3-in-1, or anything that's on the sachet, or anything that is on the packing. So please, I would advise that for your health, don't take it. And another thing, do not have your coffee always with sugar. That white sugar thing, the granule thing, is not good also for your body, especially if you are a little bit your blood sugar is high or something. Yeah. Wow. Also, I forgot one of the most important thing too. I mean, I just wanted to share this to your viewers actually, in order to. Oh, by the way, most people also they prefer your coffee decaf.
Oh God.
I mean, yeah. Jim asked me this question. Is there any decaf coffee? What do you think about decaf? Do I have time to share this with you?
Go ahead.
All right. Decaf coffee. Number one, there is no such thing as decaffeinated coffee. Imagine, why would you take away your caffeine in the coffee? I mean, otherwise, if you take that out, it's not coffee anymore. It's just like a bean.
But talk about how they take the caffeine out.
Very good. Generally, when you get your coffee decaffeinated, there will only be about 30% of the caffeine will be taken out from your beans.
Right.
How do they do it? Some people would even support or justify, oh, it's water process, it's water based. It's true. What they do is they wash their coffee beans. They call it the wash process. And what they do, in order to take out that caffeine in that beans, they put a chemical that would lessen the caffeine contents of the beans. The more chemical they put, the more caffeine are being extracted. So some people, they say, I want 7% less of decaf. They can provide you with that. But the thing is that it's water processed, it's water based, it's water washed, but the water has its chemical on it. So now, before you take your coffee, please be careful. You want your coffee caffeinated or decaffeinated? I mean, you choose.
I mean, I definitely enjoy the flavor of coffee, but most of the time I'm drinking it for the caffeine anyway. And I think a lot of Americans are the same way. They want their coffee in the morning for the caffeine to give them that kick. But there are some people who are like, well, I don't want to be awake, all night, but I want a cup of coffee. I don't think it's worth putting the chemicals in your body.
Yeah, I mean, we have put so much chemical in it. I mean, don't add it up, man.
Yeah, and even then, like you said, it doesn't take out all the caffeine, so you're still getting caffeine,
Yeah, you still get a caffeine. I mean, probably the most likely you can get about 30% of it. I mean, you cannot take away the 100% caffeine from your coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, I don't know. It's like, have you ever seen a human without a blood?
I mean, I drink so much coffee. I can drink a cup of coffee before bed that's fully caffeinated and still go to sleep. But, for those of you who can't, I would just say, get good. Start drinking more coffee. Oh,
We got
man.
new blood in you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Next time we'll talk about the instant coffee. What's the difference between instant coffee and the brewed coffee, the natural brewed coffee? I mean,
Yeah.
that's going to be interesting also. But probably some of you, if you will hear what I have to say about instant coffee, you would probably don't want to drink your coffee anymore.
Right. Yep. Well, great. So next week we're gonna introduce the Star Maya, and then we'll talk about instant coffee, the dangers of instant coffee. Well, Glenn, thanks so much for being here again, man. Always a pleasure. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Monday and get a lot of roasting done.
Yep. Oh yeah, this is pleasure is mine also. And thank you all for listening to us, and thank you all for taking time to this. And thanks, Jim, for hooking me up, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. We'll see you later, brother.
All right,
Bye.
then. So we look forward to see you guys again on Monday.
Absolutely.
Remember, it's not just coffee, it's your coffee.
Indeed. All right, Glenn. We'll talk to you later, man.
Bye.
Bye.